Boys is one massive satire on the most popular superhero franchises, but these 10 references were straight up headshots at Marvel and DC, and they're pretty dark. Amazon Prime's The Boys is based on the comic book series of the same name, and while the comics are a takedown of superheroes, the Amazon Prime show doubles down on the satire of the comics. The Boys is a constant barrage of jokes at the expense of Marvel and DC, with many of the show's superheroes being dark versions of their Marvel and DC counterparts. Homelander is Superman, Queen Maeve is Wonder Woman, Black Noir is Batman, the list is endless. However, the show goes beyond just having comedic rip-offs of more popular superheroes, with The Boys taking aim at Marvel and DC in 10 hilarious instances. Number 10. Everybody loves a team-up, mocks the Avengers and Justice League. In The Boys, one Vought executive member says the iconic line "Everybody loves a team-up." This is an obvious reference to the crossover movies that the MCU and the DCU frequently release, with the quote even being in reference to a project that is being made for the Vought cinematic universe. Some fans believe that Marvel and DC use crossovers as a cheap way to get viewers excited, with movies like The Avengers and Justice League being prime examples. Thus, it's pretty obvious that The Boys is making fun of films like those. Number 9. The Deep makes Aquaman's powers look ridiculous. The Deep is one of the goofiest characters in The Boys, and that's mostly because he is meant to make Aquaman's powers look ridiculous. Much like Aquaman, the Deep has the power to talk to sea creatures, something that is parodied to a ridiculous extent. The Deep has a conversation with a lobster early in the series, and later he enters into a romantic relationship with an octopus named Timothy. This is clearly a commentary on the long-running joke about Aquaman having sex with fish, making the Deep's character even funnier. Number 8. Girls Get It Done makes fun of Avengers Endgame's A-Force moment. Girls Get It Done is a slogan frequently used throughout The Boys Season 2, with it being an obvious shot at the A-Force moment from Avengers Endgame. This action scene in Avengers Endgame sees most of the MCU's female superheroes teaming up for a fight. However, as has been frequently mocked on Twitter, most of these heroes were side characters, with Captain Marvel being the only one that had her own movie at the time. The Boys made sure to lampoon this empty gesture, even though The Boys' female superheroes were more fleshed out than the MCU's. Number 7. Dawn of the Seven takes on the Snyderverse. Dawn of the Seven is a fictional movie within the Boys universe, with it being a VCU project that tells the origin story of the Boys' titular superhero team. The movie is incredibly gritty and dark, with it mimicking Zack Snyder's DCU movies. The Snyderverse's Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice is a clear target of the Boys' fictional film, with Dawn of the Seven even having a similar subtitle to Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. Although the VCU is structured similarly to the MCU, the actual movies are meant to parody the Snyderverse. Number 6. Joss Whedon rewrites a Vought movie in The Boys. The creation of Dawn of the Seven is a recurring storyline throughout The Boys, allowing the show to make fun of 2017's Justice League in Season 2. An altered version of Dawn of the Seven is shown, with the new cut having more jokes and extra scenes with Queen Maeve. After seeing this, Homelander says that the new Joss rewrite really sings. The Boys is mocking Joss Whedon's rewrites to Justice League in this scene, with the director having taken over for Zack Snyder after he left the DCU movie. Number 5. The Burke cut makes The Boys' Snyderverse parody even funnier. The Boys Season 3 brings back Dawn of the Seven for yet another joke, this time revolving around Zack Snyder's Justice League. Throughout the season, Vought Studios director Adam Burke advocates for a director's cut of Dawn of the Seven to release, starting the hashtag #ReleaseTheBurkeCut campaign. This is an obvious jab at the hashtag #ReleaseTheSnyderCut campaign, which eventually resulted in the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Number 4. Termite Season 3 opener makes fun of the Ant-Man-Thanos theories. Prior to the Avengers Endgame release, fans came up with a funny theory of taking down Thanos with no extra hassle. It involved Ant-Man shrinking down and, well, sneaking inside of Thanos to then expand, exploding the antagonist in the process. The Boys made that theory come true, but in an even grosser way. Thermite did in fact explode a man from the inside, but he used a different hole to get into his body. There's up-close footage of the act too, and let's end the discussion here. Number 3. The Legend is a clear Stan Lee parody. Rather than The Boys making fun of a Marvel character, The Legend makes fun of a real-life Marvel figure, Stan Lee. The Legend was the former head of hero management at Vought, with him overseeing the production of movies based on the company's heroes. The Legend shares some clear similarities with Stan Lee, but the Amazon Prime show actually tones down this element of parody from the comics, with Old Legend being an even more obvious jab at Marvel. Number 2. Soldier Boy is a play on Captain America's problematic plot hole. Captain America is a jolly Boy Scout throughout Marvel comics and movies, but he really shouldn't be. Captain America was frozen in the mid-1940s, meaning that he should have carried the era's common bigotries to the 2000s when he was thawed out. Although racism and homophobia aren't traits seen in Captain America, they are key elements of Soldier Boy's character, with him making all kinds of distasteful comments throughout The Boys. Number 1. Homelander flips one of Superman's most iconic comic book moments. One of the most iconic DC Comics moments saw Superman saving a girl, who was attempting to jump off the building by his sheer compassion and kindness. It's one of the scenes that are the reason why the Man of Steel is called the Beacon of Hope. But the Boys got a Superman of their own, and he's got a different opinion on the matter. The Boys puts Homelander in a similar situation, but instead of saving the girl he actually ends up pushing her off the building. The parallels between these two scenes are so obvious that they're hard not to notice, making it one of the Boys' clearest Marvel and DC jokes. That's the analysis for today's video. Thank you everyone for watching. Ciao.